right, nice little opening there, a little Rocky Four action there. Ha! Living in America
That's
and
the
in
one in the middle.
Yeah. You are living in America. You are living in Fort Walton Beach. You are living with Gareth Stearns and Kevin Horgan and Brady Brooks this morning. Don't adjust your radio sets. This is the Dan Diamond Show. Dan is on vacation, like I'm sure many of you are getting ready to do if you're not already on the road or making plans to head toward the airport. I know I've got a big week ahead of the honor of covering for Dan Diamond all week long, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. So yeah, don't adjust your stations. Nothing has changed. Dan Diamond will be back. He's just on vacation, just like he's earned. And you're listening to Gareth Stearns and Kevin Horgan and Brady Brooks all pushing the buttons, answering the phone calls for you today, all the way until 9 a.m. Phone number to reach the studio is 850-374-3468. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know your holiday plans. And if you want to talk about local news or even national news on this program, that's what Dan is all about. It's an honor for us to sit in and cover for him this morning, and we hope that you stick around with us. We're coming to you live from the Magnolia Grill Studios over in the Mecca off of Beale Parkway, right near Mary Esther Cutoff. We're near the Silver Mine, right next to the Dostrak House restaurant. We are a live and local radio broadcasting company. Omni Broadcasting. This is News Talk 94.3. We also have two sister stations, 103.7, The Sports Ticket, and K-Rock, Classic Rock 100.3. We got Skylar Black and Bobby Durrell in the studio next to us right now with their show, The B Team. So we are all local. We are supported by local listeners like yourself and local businesses. And especially we want to lead things off with Tom Rice and Peggy Rice over on Brook Street at the Magnolia Grill, because they have named the studios after us, and they have been longtime supporters of Dan Diamond's show. And if you want to talk about stalwarts in the community, Kevin, you actually live on the same road that I grew up on growing up. You and I are best buds from way back, kindergarten days. And ironically, it's the same road that Tom Rice used to live on when we were growing up.
Straight across the street from us, right in between the two of us.
Yeah, that's a small town, but not too small that we run out of things to talk about, not too big that we get swamped by everything that's going on. But I've always found it ironic that Tom Rice, a huge historian in this area, local historian, and I guess I like to think of myself as a big local historian as well. And it's kind of ironic that both of us lived on Middle Drive and just right across the street from each other for a couple decades growing up. A little bit of an age difference, but my soul, I think, is at least as old as his. It's older than dirt anyway.
If not more.
Yeah. Good morning, Kevin. It's been a minute since I've talked to you. Thank you for joining me in the studio this morning.
Thanks for having me on. How's everybody doing? It's kind of weird doing this with you and Brady and not, high above Joe Etheridge Stadium.
Yeah, well, don't you worry. We will be getting our share of local news local sports, and it's apropos because we should have been in South Florida this weekend watching the state championship. Unfortunately, we were not. About a week or so ago, Choctaw was upset by the eventual state champion winner, American Heritage, the team that looked every inch of state championship material at Etheridge Stadium last Friday night. They went on to defeat Jones out of Orlando. This is a rematch of last year's state championship game. And I believe they scored Jones allowed a couple more points than Choctaw allowed. So
Yes.
There's some moral victories here. Tell me what you think about this weekend's games and that one in particular, Kevin.
Well, first of all, it's the same thing that people have been saying for years. It's time, which will never happen. But I think the FHSAA really needs to get the private schools out of the public classifications, because if you look from 1A to 7A, last year, I think 5 of the 7 champions were private schools. This year, I think it might have been 1 or 2 less, but still, they definitely run the gauntlet when it comes to state titles.
Yeah, and for Choctaw to have made it as far as they did, and to eventually lose to the eventual state champion, it really says a lot. It speaks volumes about the season that those student athletes left on the field, and the job that Coach Beasley and his coaching staff has done, and the turnaround for Choctawhatchee football. I mean, you and I have been following this team for decades, and we have seen the ups and downs, and this has been a nice little run of ups that he's put together.
Right. Now, Choctaw has had their moments of getting to where they did, but they haven't seen this type of sustain until, they hired Coach Beasley. They haven't, all these, 4 straight 10-win seasons, 12 wins the last 3, 4 straight regional final appearances, back-to-back district championships, hosting a state semifinal game. That was once in a decade type of stuff until Coach Beasley and staff got on campus.
I believe they've played 13 playoff games in 4 seasons.
They have.
That is a lot of extra football to be played, and
Right.
a lot of game experience, a lot of exposure for the school, a lot of opportunities for student athletes from around the district to take a look at opportunities that exist or might not exist within their own programs. And this is just the nature of high school sports. It's not just a football thing. The school choice thing is here to stay. And Choctaw will need to work, and other schools will need to work within the bounds of whatever resources they have to try to compete with, to the best of their ability, just to get back to where they were against schools like American Heritage, who can do the same thing, but turned up to 11. And there's a little bit of a segue there with that turned up to 11. And I just want to take a pause because that segue comes from the movie This Is Spinal Tap. And This Is Spinal Tap was the directorial debut of Rob Reiner. And Rob Reiner and his wife were tragically murdered last night in their home. It might have been yesterday afternoon. I woke up to the news, so it seems like last night to me. And this is the nature of Dan Diamond's show. We're going to be talking about stuff that's not just local, but things that are hitting on a national level. And there was a lot of things that hit the national news over the weekend. And one of the things we're going to be talking about in the next segment is the murder of Rob Reiner and his wife. And there was a couple mass shootings over the weekend. One in America, in Rhode Island at Brown University, and a tragic one at Bondi Beach in Australia that we'll be catching you up on. And that's just the nature of the beast with a show like this. As lighthearted as we would prefer to sometimes keep things, we got to discuss some of the big ticket issues as well. So I'm glad that I have you, Kevin Horgan, in here, and Brady Brooks to split that burden with me. I'm looking forward to having you guys with me all morning long, and as long as you want to be in with me all week long too. I'll be covering for Dan every morning this week. We do have a lot of interviews planned, some in-studio interviews, some on the phone. If you would like to have your event promoted, or it's the holiday season. We're 10 days away from Christmas, and I know that there's a lot of things happening this week that we would like to be the reason that people find out about it. So you're listening to Dan Diamond's show in the morning, and it's being covered today by Gareth Stearns, Kevin Horgan, and Brady Brooks. We're going to come back at you in the next segment with a little bit of national and world news. Thanks for listening.
Oh, negative. I think.